Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad to see you once again. Before I pushed the record button, I actually tapped the screen but off to the side where it didn't record. And when I looked, at the same time I looked over there in the viewfinder, an orb shot up. I'm like, oh, okay, they know I'm fixing to start. So I turned the backlight off again, which is behind me. And I have my my little square light, I don't know what you would call it, on my phone, and I'm wondering if they'll show up again tonight. They did last night, so we'll see. And I don't know why, but I just feel like this lighting is good. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know what you think down below, because everybody's taste is different. So today's topic is about witches. As some of you know, I was once a witch. I was actually burned. Salem keeps coming to mind. And I should say channeled to me, because when I said I was burned and I was going to say I don't know where, Salem went through my head 3 times. So I guess it was Salem. I know one of my daughters was there with me, my youngest. She, I think, was my sister. And I want to say something, and I hope nobody gets offended, because I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just trying to, I don't even know how you would describe it. Listen to what I have to say in hopes that you would understand better once I finish everything. I mean, clear to the end. Because I'm not trying to take away from anybody. I had a friend recently who she was a witch, and her friend was a witch. We were all 3 witches at the same time. She had told me when I was having some bad experiences, she told me, you know, to burn sage and do this and do that. And she was like, you're powerful. You could do your spells again. So she was guiding me what candles to get, what to say, etc., etc. And as I'm ordering the stuff, I had information given to me that I just kind of ignored. And I think because I was desperate, because this was the time that the entity reached in my chest and was very harmful to my heart. They were very, very rough. They did not care. And I kid you not, you can hear the insides of my chest sloshing. So that was pretty scary. But when I was buying these things, information was given to me saying, you are powerful, you don't need that. All you need is intentions. And sometimes when things are like that given to me, over time, they keep coming to me, and I kind of like marinate on the thought, and eventually it starts making sense. And then I'm like, oh my God, you're right. So this information has been given to me off and on repeatedly, and I've been getting pictures and, you know, everything they do to communicate with me. I'm like, I'm starting to get imagery through my head. And I'm seeing where they're saying, they're setting their intentions when they burn this yarn or this string or burning the candle. All it is a thought process. You have to be in tune enough, aware enough, or whatever, and most witches are. You have to like imagine, in which your imagination is extremely powerful. But you have to imagine, for instance, somebody in my family who's doing me really crappy, and I want to part my ways on a clean slate and like cut the contract cords, more or less. All you'd have to do is sit there and imagine that person standing in front of you with a cord connecting both of you, which is a contract kind of thing. You could either mentally imagine scissors cutting that cord, or just imagine the cord fraying until it disconnects or whatever. I mean, you can imagine so many things, and depending on your rage, you can even use a knife. So as I'm getting these imageries, they kept saying all it takes is intention. Because sometimes when a witch is doing a curse or a blessing or whatever, she sets her intention out there, and then she does a ritual. And what that is a form of sealant. It seals that ritual. It's like done. You know what I mean? It's like you're putting a stopper on it, sealed kind of thing. That's the same thing as after you cut the cord and, you know, and do whatever, just say, and I seal this and protect this, and I send you on your way with love and blessings and whatever. You know, you do all that in your head to the other person. Now, once again, it's not taking away from witches, because some witches just don't believe they're that powerful, or they feel like they're more secure in doing these rituals. And like I said, you know, you can do it both ways. One is a ritual, or one is just imagination out of your head. And that's how you manifest things, is your imagination. When you manifest, you have to imagine receiving what you want, what you're going to do with it once you have it. Then you have to imagine yourself going through it or receiving it. You know where I'm going? The same thing is with witchcraft. It's imagination, but in motion as you're seeing it. And then you're seeing yourself doing these things and combining these things, and then you seal it, you're done, blessed be kind of thing. It's just two different things meaning one of the same thing. I hope that I explained that right. It's the same thing. When I was told all this and shown this, I'm like, oh my God, that's so right. And I am powerful, and I grow every day in my power, my gifts, and everything else that I was blessed with. I am one who doesn't need to do all that. Even when I was younger, I was told I was a white Wiccan witch. And then I remember thinking, I don't want to buy all that stuff and go and learn and do all these things, you know? And I'm like, that's a pain in the butt. So I never got into it. And then it kind of bothered me, because I'm like, oh, black magic goes into white magic. I don't want to get into that. And now I know different, of course. But it's all about intention. Let's just say you want to meet a specific, your twin flame. Let's just say that. Well, every day you're going to have to think about that. Imagine yourself with your twin flame. Imagine yourself meeting him, holding his hand, smelling him, sitting next to him at the movies. You know, you have to manifest that. That is an intention. But you have to know, if it's meant to be, it may not happen, because it's not meant to be. I said that backwards. If it's not meant to be, it won't happen, because it's not in your contract. It's not for you. Like in this lifetime of mine, I have not met my soulmate because he's not here. I've had many people say that he's there and here. I don't know if I believe that. I really don't, because I feel that if your soulmate was going through so much hell in their life, that the other soulmate would come to them. And I've been through a lot. And I just don't feel that. I feel he's only in one place. But you always have to remember that. Always remember, if it's meant to be, it will happen. You can still manifest with intentions and everything and imagine, but it may not ever happen. And if it doesn't, you have to realize that it was not meant for you to receive your soulmate or whatever else. Also know that if things don't happen, I mean, and another way that they might not happen is the timeline has changed. And let's just say, for example, you go to a medium and your medium says, yeah, you're going to meet. And this is a really good medium. I think that was an orb. It was just dancing. I can't wait to edit this to see what was going on. So, where was I? Oh, you go to a medium and she has so many perfect and positive reviews. Everybody in town knows her, you know, she's always right. She's always spot on. And you go and you're like, she gave you a whole reading, and then you're like, later down the road, it never happens. Well, it's not that the medium was wrong. It just means the timeline has changed. And what I mean by that is, when I was 16, I tried to unalive myself. and a soul took me to another soul up there who I thought was God but may not be. We were talking and he said, only I can fulfill the task that I was sent here on earth to fulfill. And if I succeeded in my unaliving, the timeline would change. And when I got older, I understood it more. So know that certain things happen that means the timeline could change. Whether it be, I don't want to say anything violent because I don't want to get pinged. Well, let's just say on my account, what if I would have succeeded? Well, the timeline would have changed. That's a good example right there. So know that even if you see me, I can give you a reading just by looking at you. But a timeline could change down the road. It doesn't mean that I was a fraud. Just saying. I wanted to reach out and say that because on TikTok, I watch a lot, or probably too much of TikTok. But as I thumb through, I always watch the witches giving spells and all this. And I can hear that going through my head. You don't need that. It's all about intention. But they're referring to me and me only at that circumstance. I'm not just saying me and me only in the whole world, but there's quite a bit of us who can do this imagination thing. But those are the witches who need that. They need the, what would you call it? The acknowledgement of doing it and seeing it and feeling it and smelling it. They need all of that. And it doesn't mean that they're less powerful. They are very powerful. So just so you know, there's more than one kind of witches. So I don't know how many orbs have came out. I really hope a lot came out. But I want to tell you my favorite one from last night. The one that came in this area. And it came out, and then it stopped, and then it came back. And then I'm probably sure that you thought, okay, it's done, it disappeared. Well, it wasn't, because then it shot out the bottom and went down. You can see it goes behind my chair, and then it, ignore my cuticle, and then it goes downward. And I'm like, when I was editing is when I saw it, when it went down. And I'm like, oh, I just thought it came out and then went back. That's the first one I've ever seen do that. That actually literally stopped and went back in the same direction. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And I've got a lot of new subscribers. Hi and welcome. I hope you stay. I hope you like my content. And say hi in the comments below. I'll say hi back. I'm going to end this here. I love you guys tremendously. I'm going to send you off with a lot of love, light, and peace. Bye.